Okay. Welcome back. You know, so in this episode, I'm talking to Phiwayinkosi Mhlongo, Unjoman or Makadam. We're talking here about this concept of chowing course. Because my theme for this year, and this is what I've been telling my student, or this is what I'm going to tell my students for this year, is chowing course. So if you're not South African, the word chow course is actually a slang that is used by university students. It actually means to do very well in course. To do well in your course, like to get distinctions, to pass with distinctions, actually, or to do very well in your course. So this man has really did very well in his um, courses along the years. He got 100% in mathematics, in both algebra and calculus, and I think he said he got 400% in his life journey as a student at Wits. Now that's a big deal. For those of you who have been at Wits, not to say that sometimes we make Wits the big thing, but Wits is actually a very difficult university. So it's a big thing to actually do very quite well like that. So we're talking about how he got into that, his study methods, how he was able to achieve that. So, and it's a full circle moment and actually I'm very proud of this because this man, Phiwayinkosi Mhlongo, was actually in my class. I think in 2019 or so. I was his lecturer in maths. I think I was lecturing him algebra, engineering mathematics. For me, it's actually very amazing to see the students that I've lectured doing well and going to do well in their course and also do well in life in general and their careers and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy the episode. But another thing that I think I should mention before I actually go, I was checking the you see now. I think I'm talking too fast. Let me slow down a bit. I was checking the analytics of the channel, right? And 86% of people who watch the channel are not subscribed. 86%. So please subscribe to the channel. If you find value in the channel, please subscribe. Subscribing to the channel is free, you know. But subscribing to the channel actually will help the channel to grow. The more subscribers we have, the more the channel will grow, and the more people will actually benefit from from watching the channel. That's how the algorithm, I think, works. The more subscribers you have, the more people watch your videos, it's the more the video gets recommended. And it will help the channel to grow in a sense of, sometimes when I make invites to the channel, some people actually look into how many subscribers you have for them to be on the channel or not. So they look at how many subscribers you have. I think is their way of gauging if it is worth their time. So having more subscribers will actually help the channel to get more sponsorships as well. Will and if we have sponsorships, then the channel will actually grow because we will able to invest in good equipment. We'll be able to invest in a studio, etc., etc. So please subscribe if you want to subscribe and if you enjoy the channel. We're also not forcing you guys to do that, but if you can just be benefiting from mahala. Come on, guys. Okay, back to the episode.
So after class, uh, um, I mean, you like doing a lot of examples, doing them with us. So after class, I would do the very same examples, you know, like do the very same examples and then go through them and see if you do understand them or not. Because if you just like let it go and say, you know what, I'm gonna ask about this when like we're about to write a test or something, you won't understand. You understand, like you'll be looking for cramming and all those. So after class, I do the very same example, even with other modules that I do, technical modules like hydraulics with numbers, equations. If there was an example in class, go and do it immediately when you reach res, yeah, just like do the very same example, so that you'll understand, much earlier, and keep up with the lecture. And that is the problem with students. They don't like, they like being behind. I don't know why. They like being behind. Yeah. Assignment. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get a lot of pressure, but this thing of academics, it requires you to prioritize. I mean, yeah, it requires to prioritize. Most people, I can tell you, most of them, after like classes, they just go and chill up until tomorrow. Yeah, just go and chill, address. Yeah, and then sit there. If you really want to be a good student, an extraordinary student, and get like good marks and understand the content, you have to prioritize like some of the things. Yeah, yeah, sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice your time, sacrifice everything. Yeah, sacrifice. So after class, go and do the very same example, understand, what was happening, and that way you can like simply point out patterns. You can simply like, yeah, see, okay, this is how everything works. It's like this is how everything works, and that thing worked for me. Yeah, that thing worked for me, and I think it's going to work for everyone who does it. Yeah, everyone who does it, it's going to work. And most people don't like asking, asking for help. Yeah, yeah. Most people don't like asking for, because we all like come with the very same mentality that, what, like, yeah, I'm a genius from high school. Yeah, I'm a genius from high school. So people don't like asking. There's nothing wrong with asking. So I can assure you, you still love math, you still understand math. Of course, you won't understand like some of the things, but just ask. Ask for someone to explain it for you, ask your lecturer, you know. Uh, most people find algebra difficult. Yeah. So if you find like certain modules difficult, I think then it's time that you do them every day. I think it's time that we do them every day. I can talk about a module in civil structure study. Most people don't like that module, and most people fade it, like dismal fade it, and then they blame the lecturer. Of course, the lecturer has some influence, but I think you have to do it every. If you can see that, okay, I'm struggling here, just try to do it every day. Yeah, keep on trying. Keep on trying. Keep on trying. I think I have four of them here at Wits. Yeah, I have four of them. Yeah, that is that algebra and calculus. I also got it 100% for mathematics second year. Yeah. Um, I think it was a test or an exam. I think it was an exam. Yeah, because for algebra test I did not get 100. Um, I also have 100 in hydraulics, both test and exam. Yeah, I think that, yeah, those are four of them. Do you understand? I think it also has to do with, in my case, I think I was motivated by the pressure. I was coming from being a top student in the country, and everyone is looking at you. Expectations. Even if you're not like the best student in the country, somewhere, somehow, from your village, yeah, people like know you. I think that's something also, just to motivate yourself, like to keep up with the very same standard. And for me, let me just go back to metric. I was actually like motivated by this guy. I don't remember his name, but he was from Limpopo, and he's studying here at Vet. I'm not sure if he's done or what. And I saw that guy who was the best student in the country in metric, and I was actually like, watching. Yeah, and then I told my mother, know what, next year, this is gonna be me. I even told my teacher, yeah, in high school, say, no, know what, after the maths exam, know what, I'm going. So, we do need people who are doing well, just to motivate them. So yeah, I think it has to do with a certain motivation, you know. uh, that I want to keep up with the very same standard. I want to, raise the bar, yeah. Yeah, that was something that motivated me, like, you know, those expectations. Like, not that I'm saying like leave for like other people, but just for yourself, you know yourself. You know that you got 7 distinctions. You know that you have like good marks. You came to vet. Yeah, just like motivate like yourself to keep up with the same standard. Don't be like demotivated by failing just one test and be like, I'm gonna be depressed. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Yeah, actually, first year, I think second semester, the test. Yeah, I actually failed the test. Yeah, I think it was a test. I don't remember very well on which topic, but I failed that test, and that was the first fail, like in my life, you know. But then I did not take that into my heart. I was like, this year, I messed up. I can see exactly where I messed up. So I think most people don't handle failure very well, and it affects like everything. It affects even other modules. It affects even their character, like how productive they are. And from that point, that's when you're gonna start failing. If you like let yourself like that failure consume you, because you're a very good student. All of us here at VET, I can tell you, all of us, we are very good students that can understand. I think it's just handling, that failure, handling that failure. And I told you in the beginning that 2021 during COVID, yeah, it was 2021. Yes, 2021. I actually failed because I couldn't submit. They just say if you don't submit, then it's a fail. I won't accept submissions via email. Yeah, I had that problem also. I was just like busy scanning with my cell phone, and then it jammed. When I was about to save my PDF, it jammed, and then that was it. And yeah, then I failed. I got a 0, and I had to repeat a year. See, and now that is a very big thing, because people are just counting years on you. Hey, people are counting, even if you don't know. People are counting. Oh no, this one's gonna finish after 4 years. Oh, okay. And they ask you, when are you finishing? You see that question. That question is not nice. When are you finishing? And you don't know what to say. Even in that case, um, I did not like let myself down because I knew exactly what happened. So like there was no point of me like being depressed and not doing well the following year. No, 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 no. I did not. Actually, that year, I actually got like 7 distinctions out of 10, and then 2 Bs, and then failed the module, And I was like, no, it was actually a good year for me. Yeah, I did my best, but then that's just unfortunate, just unlucky. It's the way you handle failure. So I can say, don't let it like consume you and like into thinking you're no longer a good student. No, everyone at some point, yeah, you fail. Yeah, at some point you fail in something. Yeah, yeah, except for motivation, as you said, our situations, some of us are from villages. Yeah, except for motivation, like external motivation, as I told you, also has to do with like intra personal motivations. It also has to do with that, how motivated you are. But except for that, you know, keeping up, keeping up with the standard that you have set for yourself. That's something that people should actually like look into, because some people know that like they are good students, but then like they don't really like put much effort into that anymore. Once you achieve something big, you've got 7 distinctions now. I'm fine now. I've achieved that. I'm fine for myself. Yeah, now I'm relaxed. Yeah, I think you also have to look at yourself, uh, um, and be like, you know what, I want to keep up with the very same standards, that I've had. And now, when it comes to getting distinctions, yeah, let's talk about getting distinctions in university. The tips, yeah, the tips to getting distinctions in university. I can say, first things first, character. Yeah, character. You know your character. Let's say like you're not like me. Okay, you party a lot, you drink a lot, you spend a lot of time with friends, you just have many things, taking up your time maybe after classes, on weekends. Let's say like you're that kind of a person. I can tell you, on average, more likely, you won't get as good marks, as someone you know, who's like much more focused on. I mean, there are people who always say, on the internet, siyaphuza and siyapass. Yeah, siyaphuza, we drink and we are passing. Yeah, we drink and pass. No, that's fine, Yeah, that's fine. Oh, of course you are passing, But most of them, they are just passing, you know. Here we're talking about distinctions. Yeah, most of them, yes, they pass. Yeah, you can pass, you can drink and pass. But when it comes to being, a top student, being like a distinction type of student, that is where character comes in. That is where sacrifices comes in. You know, try as much as using your time effectively. Try to focus more on your studies. Spend more time at school and on your studies than on other things. Not really. Not really. Not really. I never meant to think about the fact that at some point you will be a scientist, an engineer. You will design stuff. So if you're someone who's just like looking for a 50, I'm just looking for a vets degree. As long as I have a vets degree, you know,
What lessons did you learn along the way? If you could go back, what would you do differently? I like that question.
yeah, yeah. Actually, when it comes to being someone who's always studying, I can tell you that thing has changed even the way I think. You become someone who is curious. As much as you're doing engineering, mathematics, you become someone who like wants to know how things work. As once you become that person, how things work, that's where like your mind is unlocked. That's where like your creativity is unlocked. All the brilliant minds were curious, like people. You know, all the brilliant minds like Newton, Einstein's, yeah, those people were really, really curious. Yeah. So as you spend more time, you always wonder, "Ish, how does this thing work actually? Even simple things. How does Bluetooth work? How does cell phone work? You know, and an average person like does not think about those things. They just think, okay, if I get 50, 60, yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah, I know I'm fine. Yeah. And then they just go and then party, and be like, no, I'm gonna get a 50, I'm gonna get a 60, I'm gonna pass. But if you are someone who's focused, it even changes the way in which you think. It even changes your thinking capability. You even think about physics, quantum physics. I'm always posting about those things. People know me simply because I'm not a physicist. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a graduate engineer. But I'm someone who's curious about how things work. Exactly. And I was not like that. Even in first year, I was not like that. I was not like that in high school. I did not like think about how certain things work. I wasn't much. Yes, I was into physics and all those things. But as yeah, like years like were passing by, yeah, that's where I started to, being a curious person because of books, because of studying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was actually like tutoring. It's still part of it's still part of academics. But yeah, like on Saturdays, I would go to my former high school, and then yeah, then tutor the mathematics, and then on some days, on Saturdays, I would play football. Yeah, I would just go there at Dixfield and yeah, just play and then come back. It was not something that I was involved much into. So during my spare time, mostly it's either I was tutoring or just in my room. Yeah, yeah. Discipline. Yeah, we talk about discipline. We talk about consistency. Yeah, and I can, let's not focus much more into character. Let's, as much as it has a factor, you know, on how you perform as an individual. But I think these three are the most important things, as a student or even like at work.
That is, I want you to mention.
Yeah. So it's discipline, number one, it's consistency, number two, number three, it's motivation, you know. Yeah, being motivated. Those three things are very much important. You don't have to go to YouTube and watch Denzel Washington motivating you. You don't have to. You know your situation, you know your standards, exactly. You know who you are. So being motivated, being consistent, and being disciplined. Those are the key three things I can point out to first years, to people who've been here for years, everyone, everyone. Okay, I'm gonna very like go back to the very same point. Actually, at work, we had a client who was complaining, that okay, I can see like the work is being done, but I can see people are working, but I can't see like the effectiveness of that work. It's not effective. I, like personally, I know people who are always coming to class, always like in their room. They don't drink, they don't do anything. They're consistent, always studying, always at the library. You know, like doing the everything. They're motivated. They want to learn. But now it comes to how effective you do things, like certain things, just small things. You can come to class every day, you know, but then you're not taking notes effectively. You know, when you go home, okay, you go through the very same textbook. People like even go to the library and cross nights, like reading through the notes, and then they still don't understand because why? They're not doing that in an effective way that works. you know this is why I'm highlighting this thing of an effective method of doing things. You can, you know it's the very same thing about getting a vet's degree. You can get a vet's degree and then just not become a competent mathematician, or a competent engineer, because you're not doing things effectively. You do come to work, but you don't do things effectively. So yeah, I think it goes back to that point that I was talking about. What study method are you using? How are you taking your notes? Of course, we can like take notes the same way, but how like you do that, you also have to look at those things. You don't have to look at, but I'm coming to class, but I'm attending tutorials, but I'm always at the library. Fine, you're always there, but how effective, are you doing the studying? So yeah, so now it goes back to the very same method I was talking about. In my case, I had an effective method that worked. So in class, the way in which I would take notes, I wouldn't like write everything that is like that the lecturer is saying. I would just like write a few things, just write a few things. There's a reason why I'm writing a few things. The reason I'm writing a few things is because I want to see, okay, if I go back at home, will I be able to remember exactly what was being said here? This is why, like, when maybe you're doing an example, fine, you're gonna do it, and I'll just leave it in the middle and then focus on you and see if I was actually like listening, and I'm gonna be able to complete that example. It's how effective you do things. Because if you like write everything, like some of the things, like, you're going to miss them. Yeah, like you won't be listening exactly like what the lecturer was saying. This is why you have to have an effective way of doing things. And when you go home, also have an effective way of revising things. So to those students that are always complaining about like coming to class, I still don't understand. Yeah, I can say, like, try to look at how you do things, like those small things, taking notes, and yeah, that is my advice to them. Good. That's a good question. Okay. I think the answer to that is, once you can see that with the very same method, you can simply understand things and remember them, everything that you have studied. Once you can say, okay, oh, I can see I'm using this method and I can remember everything. That is when you know that, what, you have found an effective study method. Let me just make an example. When you're in class, yeah. You're teaching there, and I'm listening. So I'm going to take notes, right? I'm going to take notes, and I won't take everything that you're saying. I'm just going to write a few things. I go home and I'm looking at my notes. Hey, you don't remember this thing. Then it means, yeah, you were not like taking your notes effectively, or you were not listening effectively, between the two. But then if you change that, if you change that method, and then you go back home and be like, yeah, I remember very well what was happening here. Now, something that you did, like those notes, you can remember them, you can understand them. That is when you know, okay, I'm doing this thing effectively. And you do it with other modules as well, and see if like that is going to work. Yeah. So I think in order for you to know that you have found an effective method, it's more like a trial and error. Yeah, it's more like a trial and error, because some things don't work. I can tell you that, okay, do this, study like these great questions, and it does not work. And you will see that it's not working. Yeah, you will see, and you will see if you try and add like a different method. Oh, this is working now. you know. So yeah, I think you should try it and see if it's working. And if it's working, you do it with other modules as well. Yeah, not really. But I'm not saying people should not consult. The thing is with me, I'm someone who is curious, and also I'm someone who does not like take time to understand things. And now this is now different for people. But in my case, I don't remember myself going to a lecture and saying, look at here, I don't understand this thing. I always like drive myself to a point by, like, if I don't understand something, I'll be stressed. And people who know me actually like know about that. If I don't understand something, I'll be stressed. Really, really, really stressed. So I'm someone who always wants to know things, how things work. Yeah, how things work. So yeah, I was not consulting, but it works for most of the people. Yeah. It works for most of the people, and most people like were always like coming to me. Yeah, I think it's even much better that way, because people don't like going to lecturers. Yeah, who don't like going? Yeah, it's much better if you know. I know, no man, I know this person. Yeah, let me just go and ask them. And also, there is a point that I did not touch. And the topic of character. I think the people that you associate yourself with have a huge impact. People like saying, nah, my friends, they don't have. Trust me, they do. Trust me, they do. If you can go to my Facebook profile and look at the people that I interact with, most of those people are really like top student. like since from first year to my final year, I've always been around people who were top students. And if you're around that group, you always be like, you know what, no, I'm in this circle, man. It's one of those things that motivate you. Yeah, yeah, to being a good student. You can see, hey, people are working here. Yeah, you can see. And another thing, you don't have to compete with those people. You don't have to compete. I have a friend, Lebu. She graduated last year. That guy was like, I wouldn't say he was a very brilliant student, but he was a very good student, to a point that like we would like consult, with each other, and then just do questions together, do everything together. So like if you have people who are more into academics, you are more likely to go towards that path, yeah, that direction. And then like people, come and let's chill. Everything, come, let's chill. You're more likely to be that very same person, chilling. And yeah, so the kind of people that I associate with, they have a huge impact. They have that factor of motivating you. Yeah, I think I saw those questions. I think from two, three, and four. I think there are four of them. It's more of the same question, just put in a different way. As much as you have learned first semester and then you're going to second semester. I think the best way to put that into practice, it's either to go for an internship or or work work. But if you don't, if you don't get those opportunities, trust me, everything that you have learned in first semester or in first year or somehow, it's going to come somewhere in second year. So yeah, I think someone has to like try to remind themselves of what they've done. In my fourth year structures exam, um, if you do past papers, you tend to look for a pattern. Oh, this year they gave us this, they gave them this. Oh no, actually, like this guy likes like putting things like this, and that's what happened with most people. This thing of looking for patterns and cramming stuff. Then when the question paper came, it was no longer now a rigid bar. Now the bar had some flexibility. And guess what? We did that in second year. Flexibility in between the elements. And then boom, we are lost. So somehow, it's going to catch up with you. So yeah, so just make sure that you understand everything because it's going to come. Yeah, it's going to come. People cram. I don't like cramming. Yeah, I don't cram because if you cram, you will forget. Trust me. Yeah, you will forget, and it's going to come somewhere in your career. It's going to pop up, and they're gonna be confused. They're gonna fail. The time you have a degree, yes, people have degrees, but then they don't become competent. Yeah, they don't become competent. That one, balance. Balance has to do with character most of the time. When I say character, I'm now talking about those three things, discipline, consistency. Because if, the way in which I used to do this thing, if today I attended four modules, at home after school, I'm going to go through all four of them, going through everything that we have done, so that I don't end up, lacking here or being behind here, being behind here. So the first step to balancing every day after attending classes, go through the very same modules. Yeah, go through them. And this is why I'm talking about character. So if after school you're thinking about, "Hey, you know what, I have to go to Ziggy's and then chill every day, you're just chilling, every day you're just like doing something, then you won't be able to balance. Not that you shouldn't have other things, but try to go through the very same content. And that's how I I found balance. And I used to tell people this, and they're like, I know, but me, I know. After school, I want to relax. I've been attending classes since from 8 until 4. You see, in that way, then you won't
But
find
you can
balance.
get your room, rest, sleep for like 2 hours or
2
something, and then
hours.
wake up and still
Yeah,
continue looking at that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how you find balance, actually. It's like managing everything that you have done for that day. And then if you have time, then prepare for the coming day. Obviously, from 8 to 4, you're attending, and then from there, just come back. Uh, in my case, I don't like sleeping. I don't know. But I would just come back, cook, and then look at YouTube, Yeah, yeah, because I like looking stuff at YouTube. Look at YouTube, science videos. Yeah, catch up on some things. And then from there, back to my books. Yeah, and then that's the same routine almost every day until Friday. Then on Friday, I'll just like come back from school, go back to, go to training, then come back. Yeah, this is the thing about me. I don't have I don't have a specific time, Yeah, I'm not someone who's like, "Ish, now it's my time to start." Yeah, I just feel like, no, now I'm studying. Yeah, I just study, even at night, And the thing is, with me, I've noticed that like I'm not productive at night around 1, 2, 3 there. So no, I'll just like study from 8 up until maybe 2, and then then sleep.
Did you have a study method? I mean, not a study
Study
method, a timetable.
timetable? No, I did not.
Did you have
I did not have a timetable. So it's more like I was freestyling, Yeah, yeah,
So then,
yeah.
how would you know that I want to study this? Yes, you're
Into
saying that after school,
school.
anything that you have done for the day to day, all the lectures that you've been through and stuff. What
Yeah.
else? How would you know that I have to study this?
No, the thing is, after school, I know exactly what we were doing. We were doing physics, maths, Phoebe, all I know, all four of them. Then I know, okay, if I can do two, like 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Not like I have a specific time, like timetable. Okay. Yeah, no.
I see.
Or just like assign time for myself, and I'll be like, okay, if like 2 hours is gone and I'm not yet done with this, I'll just close it and go to another one. Yeah,
Okay.
just close it, go to another one.
And then on weekends, because the question said even on weekends. Yeah, people are doing just like
Yeah, yeah. Weekend, it's the same, like same story. Wake up, go and wash your clothes, then come back and start. This is why I'm saying my life, was shaped very much by my character, as a person. Because number one, I don't have friends. Like you wouldn't find me saying, ah, I'm still chilling with friends, Majid. No, I'm not like I don't have friends. And I'm not an outgoing person. You won't find me in a party. You won't find me in a club. You'd find me in my room, or just going to Pick and Pay or somewhere. Yeah, so my pattern it's always around academics. Yeah, it's always around academics. When it comes to relationships, I've had a few problems, but most of them actually had to do with how I view certain things. Yeah, so it was a matter of views clashing, not because of time management, but also character. Yeah, yeah. If you're someone who's kind of introverted, you're always in your room, always alone, and then you find someone who likes going out, more likely it won't, yeah, it will clash somehow, and I've had a few problems with that again, when you get into that pressure, someone is always complaining. But when you're always in your room, when I want to go out, I want to, yeah, like you don't have time, yeah, for me, and all those things. And if you're that person, if you're that person who is like me, like who don't go out, who don't, because like some people, like trust me, most people who are focused on academics, most of them they don't care about a lot of things that people care about. Let me just mention them. Most of them they don't drink. Most of them, on average, they don't. They don't party. They don't even care about clothes. They don't even care about how like they look, like how they dress, their drip, and all those things. And most ladies actually like that life. They like being seen, they like going out. So I think it's a challenge for people who are like that. I think they should look for people like who are more of the kind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same character. But in my case, I had problems with views, like how we view things. Yeah, that was a serious problem. Hey, how we view things, then we clash. Okay, when it comes to revision, hey, this is the thing about me, you know, and I don't know about other people, but if you do things repeatedly, over and over, and it's this thing again of going through the example that you were doing. I have this mind of I'll be like, if I've done something, maybe twice or three times, I won't forget it. Yeah, I won't forget it. I'm less likely that I'm going to forget what I've done. And then also when it comes to revision, I don't like revise all the topics like that much, except for when maybe I'm going to write a test and then I'm like, I remember this thing. It's easier for me to remember because I've done those things multiple times. And it won't be easier for you to remember if you just like looked at it in class and be like, oh, okay, we did it in class, then it's chai. Then you move to your next one. You did it in class, then it's chai. You won't remember that. You have to do it either two times or three times. You know, it also comes with this thing of quality. Let me just make an example with quality. You can Let me just make an example with a field test. You can go to the field and do some tests there in the ground. Do some tests. Just do one test. That thing has been published many times. That doing one quantity of test, won't provide you with the exact parameters that you need for design. You need to do either three or four or five tests of the same kind in order to see the trend of how those results change. And that thing even applies with your academics. You need to do something repeatedly so that you won't be forgetting it. If you are in a point whereby now you have to repeat, more likely it's because of either time management, or you did not have an effective study method, or you were not consulting, or you were not even attending lectures. I mean, there are many, many, many points. So the, the first thing to do is to look at your life, in the previous year. Like how were you attending classes? How were you doing things? Then after that, then you can point out, okay, this is where I think, we spoke about this. People like don't really like assessing themselves, assessing how like they were doing things. They don't like that. Accountability. Yeah, we don't like being accountable. Yeah, I think the first step is to do that, just to point out where like you were lacking. And then from there, now if you're in a point whereby you have to repeat something, I think to consult is the best thing to do. Yeah, just consult more. Yeah, just consult with other people with the lecture. Yeah, I think that's the best way. And then practice it every day. Practice it every day. I mean, I've been to that point, of saying, I've done this thing, I've done this thing. Uh, I, I don't have to go to class, and I don't have to do what. And that is the worst thing that you can do. So I think the point that you just mentioned right now, that thing of like pretending as if it's the first time, yeah. I think if you're at the point where you failed something, clearly it means you must spend more time doing that thing, you know. Don't have that mindset of saying, I remember this, Even if you do remember, go through it, Even if you do remember, go through it, And there was something that I liked doing, when I failed that module, because I've done some of the things, like I've done like almost everything that module. I actually became a tutor for the very same module that I failed, you know. Yeah, actually I became a tutor for the very same module. So the best way to do that, like you have new people coming to do that module with you, just try like to like to be someone who's going to guide them like with that module that you have failed, because what that does is, but whenever like we are tutoring, or whenever like we are guiding someone with a certain topic, like you even like learn like yourself. Oh, okay, this is the trick. This is like this is how things work. And some people like they work well in study groups. So if you have failed, you can actually try having someone to study with. Just a small group. I'm not someone who likes being around a lot of people. So like there are different things that you can do. Yeah, there are different things that you can do. It's either you consult, either you tutor, or just guide people around that module. Yeah, there are many things that you can do once you have failed. I've been in that. Yeah, failing. Mm. Uh, this thing of your mind, if you tell your mind something, more likely, trust me, more likely like you're going to, go like in the very same, same direction as you're thinking, because now you're thinking like it you know it, it affects almost everything in your body. Before you do something, you think, even if it's a small thing, you think about it. So if you think about something, "Ish, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail." And there's also some study that I read. There was a guy, what's the name? It's Dr. I forgot the name of this guy. He spoke. He's a neuroscientist. Yeah. So he studies the brain, and then he said most people don't have a mechanistic mindset. A mechanistic mindset is the one that can absorb information. Now, if there is new information coming in, they can also absorb that information with no clashing. Most people like don't have that thing. The reason I'm saying that is this. Most people, if you're negative, "Hey, I'm going to fail. Ish, I'm going to fail." When someone comes and motivates you, no man, just do this, just do this. Like your mind won't take that anymore, because you've been conditioning your mind. This is how you think. This is where like you've put like a wall in your mind. Everything that comes just bounces. I mean, I know I've been failing, I'm still going to fail. No, you're not. Do this and this and this. Try this and this and this. They won't, like, your mind won't even like pick up that thing. It won't do it, you know. And yeah, it's true. The way you think, it's going to affect everything that you do. In the way like you think about yourself, is going to affect you, not only about yourself, the way you think about anything. I'm from Esho, we're from the villages. I don't know how to use a laptop. Yeah, all those things, and we can even see that, like in our daily lives. Let me just make an example with, people, they have this thing of Zulus, they're not educated. Well, because of what they see taxi drivers, how they behave. Me, I'm Zulu, blah 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 blah. And if you look at those people, they don't like learning other languages. Simply why they have told their mind that no, I'm Zulu. I won't be learning Sepedi. I won't be learning Xitsonga. So the way like you think about certain things, that's how things are gonna be, in your life. So if you be like, I'm failing. I don't know how to use a laptop, and then continuously you're busy like saying the very same thing. As you said, you're creating that strong bond, that's strong thought in your mind that this is where I can go. This is how much I can go, which is something that you should not do. I mean, there's something here at vet that aeronautical is very difficult. I mean, you see all those things, and then you start, yeah, it's difficult. Then it's now you start like limiting yourself, limiting like even if like you fail, you be like, value most people fail, most people fail. Hey, yeah, comfortable. Most people fail structures, so yeah, the way you think, obviously, it's going to affect you. So to first years, to everyone at vets, you should not do that. Actually, there is a great example. There was a guy called Mahlati. I don't know if you know Mahlati. I think I think he did aeronautica, Mahlati. Yeah. When I first came to vet, they told me about that. They told me about aeronautica. It's very difficult. Engineering is very hard. And when that guy was speaking to us, I saw that, what? No, this thing is doable. Yeah, this thing is doable. When I look at you teaching mathematics there, you can see how this thing is doable. So like you should not like limit yourself, as to how much you can go. It's because of how I see myself. I always see myself as someone who won't like who won't be in a position of I won't understand this thing. I'm always be like I've always understood. I always have a capability of understanding things. So if someone comes and tell me like based on their experience, always when I advise people, I always tell them at the end, this is based on my experience. Exactly. Because now, if you're gonna just come and then tell people that, hey, Matt's first day is showing. Actually, there was a girl. I still remember her name. I think it's Lungi or something. She met me with this one guy. I think she was repeating maths second year. And then she said, you guys will see flames. You will see. You will fail that thing. That thing is difficult. Then at the end, I ended up getting 92. And at the end, I met her again, told her, no, I did not fail at maths. So, like, for me, I always tell myself that I know who I am. I can understand things. I think it's better if I fail after I've tried. Not that I'm gonna listen to you like telling me that no, this is difficult. No, I'm gonna try it for myself. If you're in STEM, yeah, if you're in STEM, not just other fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, yeah. So if you're in that field, I think you must strive for being a competent person, you know. Uh, I can tell you, you see the way you see like the world right now, the universe, the way in which things were shaped. Most of the things were shaped by people in STEM, people in science, technology, and engineering. And those people are not just average people, are not just average people who just think, in an average manner. So just think about it. In a few years, you'll be an engineer, and we need people who are going to be competent, not just people who say I have a degree from VET, engineering degree from VET, So my advice would be just think about the fact that at some point in time you're going to be an engineer. So if you're going to be someone who'll be like, as long as I have a 50, yeah, as long as I have a 50, and like you're going to build that habit from first year just to last year, even after like you found work, that's how you're gonna be. Like you're just gonna be like, let me just do this in an average way. Yeah. So if you're in engineering or in STEM, try as much to be a very competent person. Yeah, try to be a very competent person. Don't like limit yourself or just think like you're in, I, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Say like other faculties are not. Yeah, no, no, no. But you're in a very, very like technical field. So as an engineer, you must be competent. I like that. I saw that question. I was like, I was thinking about it. If I would go back and do something differently, I think it's making like friends, building good relationships, outside of academics. You also have to have good relationships with people, not just romantic relationships. You must like build connections. And this is something that I can see that I did not do well. I did not build as many connections with other people from different fields. And this is something that you have to do, as an individual. This is how you get projects. This is how you get jobs. This is how you get, different things. And this is how you learn different things. This is how you get curious about different things by being around people from different fields. So I think it's someone that, I think it's something that I I would say if I could go back in time, I would do it, just to connect with different people. Don't be like, yeah, yeah, just engineering.
Yeah, we've got people who they're also principal engineers.
Engineers, exactly.
And you don't get exposed to other ways of thinking that maybe for children economists
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to actually, yeah. I like that. You very much.
Uh, right now, I'm working at SRK Consulting as a civil engineer. So it's mostly in geotech, mostly in geotechnical engineering for tailings dams, So the work I'm doing now, it's like to monitor the instruments there, yeah, and then quality control and all those things. As an engineer, you know, one thing that I've noticed, at work is that most people there are technical. What I mean about technical is that those people know like the fundamentals, the principles. So I would say as an engineer, you know, everything that you do here, it's actually like being done there at work. It's actually like being done. Everything that you do,
So you can't
it's
cram
there.
your way around it.
You can't cram the way out.
It's
It's
going to catch up with
it's
you.
there. Actually, now, ne? I was looking at some tests that I was assigned with a task to analyze these tests, dissipation tests, and I did those dissipation tests like in my fourth year. I was like, this is exactly the same thing I was doing last year, So everything that you do, you are going to find it there. But now here's the thing: when you get to work, you must not have this mentality of I know. Trust me, most of the time, you don't know. Just go there as someone like who just knows the basic stuff. As much as you're from Wits, you've studied 4 years, you have that degree. When you go there and you find someone maybe you're on site, uh, they tell you they don't have a degree. Those people know exactly what like they're doing. So just be someone who's willing to learn. There's something that I always tell myself every day in the morning that you know what, I'm gonna pretend as if I know nothing. Embarrassment will be the cost of entry. So if you can't endure being embarrassed, one day you won't be a master. So being like not knowing anything. So I think for people who are doing like engineering, they should know that everything that they're doing, like they're going to find it there. So just don't cram your way around it. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about people. They don't like starting there at the bottom. Yeah. As much as you have a degree from Wits, know that when you go to your workplace, you're gonna start here. Yeah, and then go. And people that work, they always tell me, don't worry, like you don't know how to do this. No, it's fine. We all started there. Yeah. Some of them, they even give you like copy and paste stuff. Go and copy and paste. Then they tell you, as much as like you're just copying and pasting, we all started here. Yeah. And with time, as like we are busy copying and pasting, like you see some things, some patterns, and that's where we all started. Exactly. Thank you, Doctor. I mean, uh, looking at my time here at Vets, I mean, a few years back, you were teaching me as a first year student, sitting there, looking at you, like doing those notes. I don't know. Uh, I really like appreciate my journey at Vets. I've learned a lot. I've been a, a good student. Yeah, I know myself. I've been a good student. I've achieved great things. Yeah, yeah, great things here at Vets. So I can just close by saying to other students, don't limit yourself here at Vets. There's this thing of the Vets edge. Vets is difficult. Yeah, block those things. Yeah, block those thoughts that Vets is difficult. Failing is 50 is a distinction. No, 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 it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Just like, yeah. No, thank you, doctor. Thank you.